Alright, and here's some of my box systems, mainly my Nintendo, a couple other non-Nintendo. We have these are the Super Nintendo Minis. One of them I have out and I'm using to play. Nintendo Mini, the Dance Dance Revolution game and pad. I actually have a couple controllers back there. You can see the Zelda 3DS edition. Atari Jaguar control in the box. This here is just a Minish Cap box that I got from, I believe I was running Sam Goody when that came out. Alright, we got Dreamcast. That one in the orange box is the Black Sega Sports Edition. There's just the original one. I have the Zelda Edition Wii U, followed by the Super Mario Maker Wii U. Got a video organizer, it's brand new in the box. Got a little bit of water damage on the cardboard, but the product is brand new. Got some controllers, all different colors as you can see. Running out of room to put stuff, so I'm kind of stacking things all funny. Got the Virtual Boy, the adapter for the Virtual Boy. Got a random Power Glove just hanging on that Gorilla Rack there. And back here we got Wii U's, and no, not all of these are complete. Just some of these are complete boxes minus the system. But I managed to get the Mario 2-pack system. There's my original Wii U I picked up. That's the system I use. The Super Mario 3D World box. There's my Switch. Really good system. Alright, we got the Wii Mini system. The 25th Anniversary Mario Red Edition. This one here is the blue Walmart edition that they release on a Black Friday. This is my Nintendo top loader. Alright, my original GameCube right there. And this one here is the Mario Party 7 edition. Alright, go to N64. This one here is my original N64 that I had when it came out. Here is the Toys R Us one with the golden controller. Alright, on to the Super Nintendo. Got the smaller edition Super Nintendo system. Got just the basic, cheaper control set, which only came with one controller, no games, nothing else. This one here is the Super NES Mario set. What was cool about this one is it came with all the Mario games. It came with Super Mario World, and it came with Super Mario All-Stars, but not on separate cartridges. They were both on one cartridge, so it is a limited special cartridge that this was the only way you could get it. Go to the Donkey Kong set. Comes with Donkey Kong Country. The Killer Instinct set. This is one of the earlier boxes I got. And this super rare, very hard to find. I really don't know much about it, but that maybe it might have been a Walmart exclusive, but there's really no price indicators to find out what this would even go for, so that's all I can really tell you. This is the Super Game Boy set. So the more valuable thing about this is going to be the box only. You can find all the rest of the stuff and put this box together. It came with Mario All-Stars, came with the Super Game Boy, came with the Super Game Boy Guide, which isn't actually not that hard to find, and then the system. But this is my favorite Super Nintendo of these 5 systems here, or 6 systems. Got the Pat Country Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library Book. Thing's massive, it's heavy, so I put it on the Gorilla Rack so it could hold it. It's too heavy to go on anything else. Alright, let's get down to my NES systems. So I have every single NES box that the US had put out. I'm pretty sure. So let's go with the control deck, just the basic control deck. Came with Mario. This Red Band is one of the later ones that came out. This is the challenge set. Comes with this special Super Mario Bros. 3 which has it says challenge set on the cardboard box itself. It's kind of wrapped around it. This is just the control deck again, but it's the red band control deck. And the NES sports set with the special cartridge, which is not hard to come by. It's not expensive. And then it has the satellite, and it comes with 4 controllers. Good set to get if you like playing with friends, because it has everything with it. And then the original action set, you can tell because it has the gray gun. That was the first action set to be released. And this one here is the 3rd action set to be released. This is the red band action set. And both those came with the Mario Duck Hunt games. Okay, there's the 2nd printing of the action set with the orange gun. Okay, here's the power set. Came with the power pad and a special cartridge that had Mario Duck Hunt, and it had World Class Track Meet. Got the Rob set. This is the very first one that was released. As you can tell, there's no square here saying deluxe set. This was the first launch of the system. Here's the other Rob set that came out, which says deluxe system. This was the one that came out afterwards. Alright, so that's it for my Nintendo systems there. Alright, and over here is where I keep a lot of my older systems, mainly my Ataris. Let's start up here at the corner. I have a Gamecom boxed. Underneath that we got the Super Scope 6. That is complete in box. And the massive Goliath Atari 5200. And honestly, I don't think the controllers work. One day I will need to get a new controller. Alright, and there is the Bally Astrocade system. That's not easy to come by. And it did come in 2 colors. I have the white one. There is a brown one. It's not really brown. It's the brown wood color, kind of like what they did with Atari. So when, for some reason everything in the 70s and 80s had to be covered in wood to make it cool, I guess. There's my ColecoVision in the box. Alright, and underneath it, there's my Intellivision, made by Mattel, pretty much to go head-to-head against the Atari. It was visually better looking, a little bit less known, not as popular. But overall, it was a decent system. I'm still not a fan of the joystickless controllers because it revolved around using this little circular motion thing. You can kind of, move it around, spin it. It was a cool idea, but yeah, you didn't feel like you're really in control. And then, like I was saying earlier in my last video, that all these older systems got ripped off by these other companies. So for instance, this one here, this is the Sears Telegame Super Video Arcade. And as you can see, it's an Intellivision. It's just they kind of placed everything differently. They placed the controllers in the center, and that's about it. It plays all the games. Telegames made their own games for it, just like they did for Atari. That's pretty much the only difference. And to the right of that, this is the Radio Shack Tandy Vision. So they kept Vision in the title. They didn't, at least do what Telegames did and, changed it completely. No, they kept the Vision portion of it. And if you look at the system, it's a direct rip-off. It's exactly the same. I mean, exactly the same. They did look like they took the shell and they slapped a fake wood panel sticker over it. But again, you go to Radio Shack, you can buy your Tandy Vision. I don't know if it was any cheaper than buying the Intellivision. I'm assuming it was. But honestly, I didn't have this system growing up, so I couldn't tell you which one was cheaper. All right, move on to my Atari 2600. This is what they call the Vader system because it's all black. It's got the black front, not the wood panel front. And we have the VCS. This is the 4-switch VCS. You see it's got the 4 switches on there. And we go down next to it here. This is the original VCS system. It's got the 6 switches. They like to call this the Heavy Sixer. That's the original one. So for those of you that don't know what the VCS is, it's the video computer system, which essentially would just be renamed the 2600. That's all that is. Same system. Here we go with Telegames again. We got the Telegame Video Arcade. You look here, this is just a rip-off of the Atari Heavy Sixer system VCS. Same thing, controllers are exactly the same. I mean, they're identical. Like I showed in my last video, the boxes are black and they all kind of match, which I think the boxes looked nice back then for the Telegames. Alright, we go to the left. This is the Sears Telegame Video Arcade 2. This is really very hard to find. I got very lucky when I found this on eBay. I've been following a guy who had it online, and it had been on there, I want to say, for at least a year, and then I just made him an offer. I said, hey man, I've been following you for a year, this is not sold, can we make a deal? And we made a deal. And this is 100% complete in box. As you can see here, the shell's almost identical to the 7800, if any of you that know what the 7800 looks like. Instead of, you know, there's buttons along this rather than the silver plate that says 7800 on it. What I like about this system is the controls. Get the light glare off. The controls are really cool on it. The only way to get those controls, as far as I'm aware, was to buy this system. I'm sure they probably sold them separately, but I've never seen them. Alright, next up we got the TI-99 Texas Instruments. And the reason I have 2, these are heavy. Alright, I'll show you this one. This one is the silver unit. The one underneath is the white unit. Only thing that's different. I don't really understand why this one says 99.4. I don't know enough about this to really delve into that. Okay, so there's the Merlin handheld system. Picked that up at Game On Expo, second year I was there. And then we have my Magnavox Odyssey systems. So the difference here is this one here was the first release, and then after the game started coming out, this was the second release. Alright, let's move down into the glass here. Alright, so first off we have my Radio Shack TRS-80 Color Computer 2. Let's see if I can, slim fit there. So as you can just kind of see, just shows a picture of it. Get it back in there. And these, I know these aren't old, I just put them in here because they're rare. This is my Dark Knight 360 system with Joker on the side. It's got the Batman logo there. And then it says the Dark Knight on the side. Now this was a Domino's giveaway back when the Dark Knight was coming out. They put out 55 of those and 55 with Batman on the motorcycle on the side. So there's only 55 of these around. I got lucky. A friend of mine had won it, and he wanted to make a trade because he didn't really care to play it anymore. He wanted the Slim had just come out with the Kinect, and that's what he wanted. So I bought him a pre-owned Slim with the Kinect, and he gave me that system. So that was, as far as I'm concerned, that was a great trade. He didn't really care that it was collectible, so works out for him too. This is an odd one. This is a 4GB Slim. And right there This is a Microsoft intern system that was given out to interns during the summer celebration with the Dave Matthews Band. And you can see there's a date there. And this is not a sticker. This is printed on there. Now that's about all I know about this. I have no clue, you know, price points. You know, I don't know what people are wanting to purchase this for. I think it's cool, so I decided to keep it. But really beyond what I know about it being given out, that's it. I don't even know how many there are. I don't know the count of systems that were produced for that. All right, next, getting more obscure here, we have the Emerson Arcadia. This one is 100% complete in box and is never been used. Still has all the wrap on all the on the system, the controllers, the little joysticks. The joysticks haven't even been screwed into this. They're still separated and individually wrapped. Being that it's so old, I really don't want to open it and use it. I ended up finding a loose one, which I think it's in the other room, so I just use that one if I want to play. This here being probably one of the most obscure systems I own. This is the APF MP1000. Not in the best shape, but it's the only boxed MP1000 I've ever seen. I've never seen another one boxed, at least, you know, for sale online or in a store. So this is a really tough one to get. All right, and since this one I had to tip over and put in, you know, it's not going to come out. This is the computer module for the Intellivision 2 system, which you'll see here shortly once I get around to it. Say goodbye to the weird and obscure. Here is the Omni Entertainment System. Now all this is it's like a trivia game. You could buy cartridges for it. You can see there. They're actually in the form of 8 tracks. You plug it in, you play it to 4 players, and it's a trivia game. So each one you bought was trivia based on something else. So I don't know if I would really count this as an actual console, because it's more, you know, it's a little bit different. It doesn't, the cartridge is, you know, tape based, but you could go and you could buy different cartridges for this system. I'm not sure exactly how many were out. I've got a handful of them, which I'll get to. Then the Odyssey 1, the very first video game system ever made. Next, we have the RCA Studio 2. Again, that's lip locked in there because I'm running out of room to get all this stuff to get it to fit on the shelf. But yeah, that's complete. And then this one here, this is the Coleco Gemini. Now this was Coleco's Atari 2600. That's all this is. This is a 2600 with a really kick-ass controller. It's got the little Pong controller right there, and you got your joystick all built into one. Very cool looking system. This one here comes with Donkey Kong. So if you ever seen this before and you didn't know what it was, that's what it is. It's the Coleco Atari, pretty much. So the Gemini. All right, we're on the other side of the room. Start off with the Genesis Power Base Converter. You would stick this on top of your Genesis, and pow, you got yourself a Master System. You put in your Master System games, including the chips, and play them right on your Genesis. There's the Genesis 1. This is the very first one they released with Altered Beast. Here's the Genesis. This is another Genesis 1. It comes with Streets of Rage. Nothing special about it. The box is just kind of cool looking. Got the VIC-20. And we got the Commodore 64. Classic. Got a couple Game Gears up here. Which ones? It's gonna fall. Yep, it's gonna fall. Okay. So there's that one. It's the same as this one, which is funny because It's just smaller. But you see how this says the core system? I'm assuming this one just came out afterwards because they started naming the systems on what they were. See, this one just shows you what came with it. And then there's this other Game Gear box. Blue, I don't know. It comes with the... I guess it's just the system. I don't know the difference on why this one was just blue. But it looks like it came out sometime afterwards. You can see the TV module and whatnot back there. Alright. And then we got my Nomad. This is really cool. This is the portable Sega Genesis. One of the better handhelds out there. It's actually really good screen on there. Games play really well. It's got the 6 buttons built in. Really cool system. If you don't have one and you like Genesis, this is an awesome system to get. Alright, moving on. We got some wireless remotes for the Atari 2600. We got the Bentley of systems. Actually, all this is just a Pong system made by a company called Bentley. We got the 32X boxed. And we've got the ColecoVision expansion module 2, which comes with the turbo game, and you get the gas pedal and steering wheel for the system to play your racing games. And just some random system boxes here. Here's Ratchet and Clank, the 2000 edition, I believe. No, this is the 3000 edition silver system. And the white PS Vita system that comes with Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. Alright, and now, moving over, we got the Sega Saturn Twin Stick. This was made for the Virtualon game for the Sega Saturn. And we have the Zoomer. This is a steering wheel controller for your NES. And I've had this guy for, God, I got this, I want to say in 95. It's actually, somebody gave it to me. I didn't have to buy it, he just gave it to me, and I've just held on to it ever since. And we have another Sears Telegames, Pong Sports 2 in box. And the last weird one on this wall is the Amstrad. This is a foreign system. I'm not exactly sure if this is German or Russian or French or what, but I've done a little bit of research on it. The games on it look really decent. They're like 16-bit, you know, just Sega Genesis quality. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on some, but they're extremely hard to come by. This one doesn't have a space yet, so I'm just showing it to you by itself. This is another Tandy Color Computer 3. So pretty much this will play, this is technically a TRS in some sense. It has a cartridge slot for the TRS 80 games. And this one is complete. You got your controllers down there, system, hookups, all that. I got this one here. This is the multi-pack interface for the Color Computer 2, which is the TRS. And it's got one of the cartridges as well. There's your little slots to put them in. Not very easy to come by. Got this off of a trade from a friend a while back. And actually, if you look at my pickup video history, you'll see the video that I picked this up on. Moving on down here, we got the system changer. This here is for the Intellivision 2. Plug it into the side, and now you have an Atari 2600. Everybody had to make an Atari 2600. That's just how it was back then. That was the biggest selling system, so why not make money off of their games by adding an add-on to your system that played the Atari games. And then right here we have the Intellivision 2, which I like this design much better than the original design. They did make an Intellivision 3, which I don't own yet, and they went back to the original design, but I like this design a lot better. Alright, we have another Atari Vader system. It's just a smaller box than the other box. There's just box variants pretty much. And we have 2 of the 3-channel F system boxes. This one here, this is the 2nd generation box that came out. And this one here is the 3rd generation box that came out. The first box is really hard to come by. Still looking for it. The box is more frail than these, so they don't seem to last. And this is a very old system, as you can tell. These ones aren't exactly in the best shape either, just from sitting probably on a shelf, just being worn. And we got the Commodore. That one's pretty rare. Got that off that same trade.